It's gonna fall. Oh, that's all right.
Salute.
Cheers.
What was this, number 7?
Yep.
I think so. So we come into these trying to learn, trying to grow. I would say predominantly.
I would say so.
We're trying new mic positions, so I don't know if you can hear me or not. Predominantly, we try to come into these to learn. So we take an idea that we feel we know at least a little bit about, and we try to just kind of stretch our minds a little bit on it. And we format it in a way that if anyone listens, hopefully they might be able to grab something out of it as well. Today's topic, which Sam wanted to talk about, which is the perfect example of us not really knowing where we're going with this, but just kind of grabbing the idea and running with it, is beauty. And it was your idea.
Yep.
And so it would be appropriate that you start this
Run
one
with
off.
it. Yep. So, really what came to me this week was some of the things I'm reading kind of coincide with some of the things I was either listening to or watching or whatever. But I kept having this theme of beauty, right? What is beauty? Where does it come from? What does it mean to us? How do we observe it? Is it subjective, objective? Like, it just a whole bunch of questions with it, right? And I think the reason it hit me so hard was because I understand beauty like in a thinking concept, but not in a feeling concept.
What do you mean?
So if you ask me to describe it, I could probably give you a description of what beauty looks like, right? Like, if it's something we're seeing, it would be aesthetically pleasing, whatever that is, right? Like, I can give you a description. I can state this or that is beautiful.
So you could point it out, but you couldn't explain why it is?
Partially, yeah, I think that's accurate.
Or at least you could say, like, well, that's beautiful because it's got these dimensions or these whatever. But why are those dimensions beautiful?
I guess all of that is something I can at least derive, and we will probably here. But to me, it's more like, I think what got me is I don't focus on the beautiful in life. It is an integral part of life. So Plato had this concept of the good, the true, and the beautiful being the pillars of what we are aiming towards. And for anybody who understands philosophy, I may just be bastardizing that like crazy, but the good, the true, and the beautiful. Okay, the good, I understand that, right? Like, we're aiming towards good, not evil. You can elaborate on that all day. But the true, that one like hits a little bit deeper. To me, that one is taking the good and the beautiful somewhat and being the direction that you're going at. Like, you take the good to aim at the true, right? And then the beautiful. While right out of the gate, I'm like, yes, that is accurate, because there's the good, there's the true, there's the beautiful. But I can't describe why that is accurate. It's a true thing to be there, of the pillars of what we value and aim at. But I couldn't describe why that is, right? And that's really what I wanted to explore is,
Why do we value beauty?
yes, yep.
Not just so I understand. Are you wanting to explore like beauty itself, or why we value beauty, or just both in general?
Honestly, both.
Okay.
Beauty's just a concept that, yeah.
I did not expect it to take that turn.
Yeah, right?
Oh, damn.
I told you. Yeah, so I've been thinking about that, right? So we are, as men, we're called to do a lot of things in life, right? And most of them are overt, aggressive, leadership, dominance, things like that. Not to say we aren't called to do other things, but there's a softer nature to us that needs to be present to be a balanced man. I love that word, balance. It's never going to leave me now. But to be a full man, there needs to be some level of balance where you have that soft side and you can appreciate that what is beautiful. Yeah. And I think like I can do that, but I don't understand it. It's like a mystery to me.
Why you value the beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, we know we got to go for the good.
Yeah.
So, just a heads up, my neighbors, awesome people, own many cool cars. None of them have a functioning muffler. And I can hear them firing up one, so it might get really loud. We know we have got to go for the good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, obviously its own separate topic.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not just going to sit here and watch evil massacre the innocent.
Right.
You know what I mean? No. Obviously, we would rather die fighting that. You have to. Like, you have to.
Right.
It gets hard. Very, very difficult. And perhaps things that are beautiful make us realize that there's still things good worth fighting for.
I think that's near accurate. I think that captures kind of the essence of it, right? Because what is life if there is no beauty? So another thing that I kind of stumbled across, and it wasn't somebody that said these, it was I watched a few different things and can combine these in my thoughts here was, so we have the good, the true, the beautiful. And then one thing that Christ actually said was, he made the statement that he is, wow, this is leaving me, the way, the truth, and the life, okay? The way being, if I'm to equate these two things, the way being the good, you want to follow the good path, right? The truth, obviously it is the truth. But then I think of the life. And if I'm equating it to anything, I have beauty. So what is life other than the pursuit of that which is beautiful? And I think there's something to that. I don't know how to equate that entirely, but I think there is something to that relationship that there is. Like if I were to break down beautiful and what realm that kind of lives in, not that it's only here, but I would chalk it up in the world as art, right? So if you just split it in the middle, you have art and you have science. There's a lot of other categories. I'm not saying that's all encompassing, but art is the pursuit of beauty, right? Like what other purpose does it have? You're not doing art to learn a new unknown thing. Well, that's not necessarily true either. I guess art is the realm of beauty to me.
Yeah, it's the expression of beauty.
Mm-hmm. In many forms.
The expression, in many ways and forms, the expression of the soul expressed using something that we perceive to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Why we do that, I have no idea. Why we have the calling. That's obviously, that we could go into that, but that's almost like its own topic.
Yeah. So you see where my existential crisis comes from with this? It's like...
So what is the specific question you're trying to answer?
That's an appropriate question because I don't think I've thought of it.
Okay.
So it's not really what is beauty, though I think that's worthwhile of covering. In fact, before I get into it, let's kind of derive down because I don't have an answer for you.
Okay.
And this might help me figure it out.
Yep,
So
yep.
To you at least, what is beauty?
Harmony.
Okay.
Harmony. We're constantly trying to survive. You know, like we're constantly chasing pleasure.
Sure.
Whether that be like a physical pleasure or just hearing a song, seeing a beautiful art piece, walking in nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're also trying to survive. Survival always takes precedence over, I won't say always, let's say 99.9 with a repetant of 9% of the time, survival takes precedence over pleasure.
Agreed.
Okay. So when we see something that's perfectly harmonious, let's take the Fibonacci sequence, for example. We know that those who are closer to the Fibonacci sequence are more attractive. You can you can take anyone from any culture, throw them in any other culture, and it'd be like, that person's beautiful. Obviously, there's some things, like
Right,
some
it's-
gentlemen with a bigger gut are going to be more attractive than this, whereas some more toned.
Yep, time and place is important too. But
However, you could look at a picture from 100 years ago and be like, that was a beautiful individual. Like, you don't know where they're from, but you just
none of that matters.
Yes,
Yep.
and that is all based on a Fibonacci sequence. Well, what is the Fibonacci sequence? It's a mathematical equation that repeats itself throughout nature. We don't really know why, or at least I don't know why, but it's just the perfect sequence of numbers. Everything that follows that sequence of numbers is perfectly symmetrical, or at least it's in perfect order. There's nothing abrasive, nothing out of whack. It flows and it grows and it stays harmonious.
It is as it should be.
Yeah, so when we see things that are harmonious, let's say you see trees with very healthy leaves on them. You see flowers, they're clearly getting plenty of water, plenty of sunlight. These things are all, you see that, and then you see a bear attacking you. That bear is going against...
Is abrasive.
Yes. But let's say there's no bear. And you're just looking at these beautiful flowers. It's like, these are in perfect order. Nature is working perfectly. It's harmonious. It's my neighbor singing as opposed to my neighbor yelling. This person's just going with the energy and the mood and the flow of just enjoying being alive. This person's going against it. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's harmonious. I don't have to worry about survival. Everything's in order. I feel it's like almost like a reminder that you are safe and that there is good, back to my point of everything, it's like a reminder of the existence of good. I think. I don't know though, obviously. But
we're exploring, man.
Yeah, if I had to describe it, I would say anything that is harmonious in the flow of what should be. I
don't know that I can come up with a better description than that personally. I'm sure there is one, but
certainly.
But
certainly.
No, I think
is there?
No, I think that kind of describes it for me. I guess as you were talking, kind of like I stated earlier, my idea would be to derive down what I'm actually trying to understand.
Yeah.
So what it is, that makes sense. I think what I'm trying to understand at this point now is, how do we receive or how do we interact with beauty?
What do you mean?
So you can witness beauty. You can, I guess you can create beauty, music or something like that. But what is the form and manner in which we interact with beauty? And I think that's what puzzles me, because I can think of times where I've been in an absolutely beautiful place outdoors, right? And I'm just staring off at all that is present and observing its beauty.
But you weren't enjoying it.
I wanted more from it. I wanted something deeper or more present from it.
I know nothing about this scenario, and I have no medical training whatsoever, but it sounds like your soul was unhappy with something and it wasn't appreciating what you were in. So it sounds like you had something completely else going on. Some
accurate.
Some unhappiness in life. Maybe like, let's say something outside of your control and you're going through the grieving process, or something in your control and you're just despising yourself at the current moment. Because like for me, absolutely terrible things can happen outside of my control. And I will be far more negatively affected by something small and evil that I did than those terrible events.
Sure.
So like that's what gets me dwelling in a worse state. So I would say maybe something big out of your control, you're going through the grieving process, or something that you're unhappy about yourself. And because you're unhappy with yourself, you're like, well, fuck this and fuck that. And this ain't beautiful. And why isn't this more? And it's its fault that it isn't more beautiful. It should be serving my needs, and like, screw you, nothing. Until you come to that realization, it was like, I'm it.
I can reciprocate a good part of that.
Yeah. And like I said, that might...
Right, and that's
in the slightest
that's
bit.
yours. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think for me, what it was is more something is within me that will not allow me to be at peace with the beauty.
Oh.
I guess it's not that I'm looking at it going. I guess I did state that I wanted more from it, which is, I guess, accurate. But it's not me looking at the way the trees are moving next to the river going, that should be better. It's more me going, I want to appreciate this more. And I can't right now. And I don't know how to, I think is my real statement. And it could, I think you're onto something with where I'm pulled in a different direction and I can't be at peace with that.
Right.
I think that's entirely correct. I guess I can think of times in my life where I can appreciate beauty. Music is probably a really good example because there will be certain, you hear a new song and it just hits such a chord with whatever it is at the time, right? And it's like,
I've been waiting for that song for 2 years.
Yeah. It just takes you out of your own body of whatever it is. It's probably the best example I have. I think my it wouldn't be resentment or anything active negativity, but my ignorance. I think my ignorance is I want to find that in nature maybe. And because I do love nature and being outdoors. And I would love to find that beauty and peace somewhere within nature. Not that nature is the end all be all of beauty and peace, but it's like whenever I search for it there, I'm left wanting more, if that makes sense. Can you ever find just pure beauty and peace in nature? Like, do you have examples in your mind?
Depends. Most of the time, most of the years of my life, no. 1 year, 2010. They don't listen to this. Cornbread, Ron, Spitznagel, Scott Lawrence.
That's funny.
Dan Gay, Francis Wagner, Benedict Wagner, Ken Newman, Tyler the Gray, and anyone else who I forgot. Absolute greatest 6-month period of my life, up rafting. And when I came into that year, I used to do a whitewater rafting guiding. People would want to go on a raft down a river. I would say, here, this is a nice piece of gear. Please don't do that. That could hurt you. Do this. It's going to be safe. And then I'll show you how to get down safely, right? Did that for 11 years. This was year 5, year 6 for me. So it wasn't anything new. But those incredible people taught me how to be very, very present. They taught me that if there was a problem, how to fix it right away for the best, how to be a good person. But the biggest thing, how it relates to this topic, is that year, that 6-month period, I was the most present in my life. And I wasn't worried about something in the past because everything, my ability had been taken care of. I had worked very hard to make sure it was as good as it could be with being a good person in mind, helping other people around me. I didn't owe apologies.
Sure.
At least that I could think of. And so there was no reason to think about the past other than for enjoyment purposes.
Sure.
I knew what I was doing. I knew where I wanted to go, and I knew why. It was my choice. It was a good path. It was a good reason. So there was no reason to worry about the future. So I could be in that moment. And you talked about being present was a big focus of yours this year.
Yeah.
And so, I guess I can't remember the exact question.
It was, is there a time when you're connected to outdoors or find beauty in outdoors?
Lately, no, because I don't have my life where I want it to be, where it should be. However, I know it is possible to wake up and just be, just to sit there for 15 minutes before I get up, just watching this little creek outside your cabin And the only thought is like, wow, that is so beautiful. Look at the light glimmering, and like, the moss looks so green today, and a raccoon, can't believe it. Like, no, and just, I know it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my search, personally.
Okay.
Not just outdoors, right? But that's just the realm that I find lack of understanding. But to that point, I know it's possible. Like, inside me is like calling for that, right? And I'm just trying to find it. But I think it's kind of locked in that presence aspect, which one day I really, really do want to cover presence with past and future on how those.
Sure, we will. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How those impact that, because both of those, well, they have purpose to them, but their past and future tend to be some of the most negative things for us. They pull us down or push us out of the way, get us distracted. Anything from being present, right?
Mm-hmm. So beauty.
Yep.
So beauty. What
other things do we have there?
Yeah, what's the question?
I think that last one was pretty dang close to the question. So what is it? How do we interact with it? I guess, what role does it have in our life? Like, why? Well, no, yeah, I think that's good. What role does it have in our life? Why do we search for it? Why do we even care that it exists? Right? Like, on a real gut level, like, you're probably not going to pursue someone romantically that you do not find beautiful, right? Mm. But why? Like, why is that a human innate nature?
Well, there's like genetic reasons, but there's also like, I don't know. I know the genetic reasons, but I don't know.
Devoid of the symmetry that is beauty. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the deeper layer than symmetry? Because like that's our monkey brain version of what we innately know.
Think it shows that things are working properly.
Sure.
It shows whether it be our biological subconscious or our metaphysical subconscious, it shows us that things are working, because a lot of people believe in God. I don't believe in a conscious being, but I believe in a all good, all perfectly functioning energy source that would be considered God, I guess.
Sure.
Just kind of without a consciousness. But like, basically take all your religions, like, everything's in order, right? Everything was created to flow and work together, this and this and this. And beauty is the sign that there isn't anything protruding into the flow of what should be. And so when you see something beautiful, like, okay, it's working properly. Like buying a car, turn it on and you hear something clanking, you're like,
yep,
doesn't sound right. Take the exact car, same year, same color, same mileage, turn it on. You hear that belt. You can hardly hear that belt spinning, but it just sounds good. It's like everything's working good. Which car are you going to be more attracted to?
Right.
Everything's in working order. Because everything, whether you believe in God or even evolution, everything has a place and a purpose to make the cog, the system, nature, to it all, whichever one you believe in, whether you believe that God created it 16,000 years ago, or we've been around for 16 billion years, I think you have to agree that everything has its place.
Yeah.
Because that's just where it fits into the machine.
Yeah.
And so when you see beauty, which I think beauty is either something that comes naturally or our interpretation or expression or creation of a replication of something that occurs naturally.
Yep.
Then it's like, it's in working order. It's just, I got all these stressors in life that I don't have to think about. Because I know that this little spot in the world is working properly, and I can just delve into that for a little bit and enjoy that moment there.
Right. Beauty is that which is right with the world. That
which is in flow.
Because the exact opposite being disorder or ugliness or whatever
chaos.
You want to... Yes.
Chaos.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, chaos can still be beautiful because it can promote something new, right?
Because we need chaos. Look at your songs.
Right.
Why isn't it... Like, if we didn't need chaos, you'd hear a chorus that you liked,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would be a 20-hour-long song of a chorus on repeat.
Exactly. You need disruption. You need change.
Like,
you need new.
But you want some continuity, so you go
Mm-hmm.
intro. Okay, we're in this key. Verse. Okay, I really don't want to hear the verse again. I know how that goes. Oh, chorus. Oh, that's kind of nice. And then
Mm-hmm.
verse again. Okay, yeah, it was kind of nice little change up. But verse. Okay, we're back home again. It's safe. Yep. And then okay, chorus. Okay, I know that. But then the bridge or the solo takes you out of it for a little bit. And you're like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but like, I want to go home now. And then like, let's fade back into our starting key. And yeah. Yep. So yeah, you do need the chaos. But basically, like, as you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, so I think my whole sum up here is like, beauty is that which is right with the world, right?
Yeah.
It's harmonious. It's what we recognize. We have an interaction with it. We appreciate it. We find a love of it throughout the world in many different avenues, right? It's just finding and understanding it. That's my own personal journey. It's just finding and understanding it.
What are you looking for?
I am looking for beauty, and I don't know where yet.
Like what beauty specifically, or what part of beauty, or what about beauty?
All of those questions are valid, and those are the questions that I'm trying to figure out.
So you're searching for something, and it's in the realm of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go really off the wall here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking, do you think you might be looking for like, and I don't mean this it's an unattainable, don't do it. I mean this in like, it's an absolutely attainable way.
Sure.
And like you should. Are you looking for the like perfect version of yourself that is in sync and harmonious with everything? Mm-hmm. Do you feel out of sync?
I think that's an extremely appropriate question that I don't have a perfect answer for.
Maybe something to think about.
That is good. I will take that. As I told you, I'm going to kind of steal the last few minutes here.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
So we got a few minutes here. 100% off topic, not even close.
Okay, good.
But
koala bears, they're crazy.
I know. Okay. You ever see a wet one? They look insane.
Dear God.
So today is, gosh, I don't remember what day of the week, month it is. 24th, 5th, something like that.
Oh, it's the 24th.
Okay. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving, correct?
Correct. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Indeed. So what I figured we'd end this episode with is just some general, what are you grateful / thankful for this year?
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
I'll go first.
Yep.
And you can close it off.
All right.
You know, because I feel like you prepared this.
I did not at all, but let's go.
But I would love I think I closed off the last 2 episodes, so.
Sounds good, bud.
Good people. Good people. There's so many people out there who I think really care about me. I would say maybe credit to myself, maybe not, maybe just, there's a lot of people out there who see my flaws,
mm-hmm.
and they treat me very good. I could go on for an hour.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna say the very, very good people who make me very happy and make me feel very fortunate to be here. I love this. I love where I'm at. I love being in this location around these people, and it would be very hard. Someone could offer me a career opportunity that pays 2 to 3 times as much as I'm making now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to think about it. I'd have to really, really think about it just because of the people.
I get that, dude.
Yep.
For me, I think the relationships I've been able to cultivate this year, man, what an opportunity. I've never had this amount of time in my life. And there's a million other things I am grateful for, but the primary one is the ability to cultivate relationships with people. Whole bunch of people for all their particular reasons. Yourself as one of those primary people. But I'm grateful for people, time, and family.
Yeah, you've come a long way this year, dude. It's been a big year for you.
It's been a big year for both of us, man.
It's been a big year for both of us. Bigger for you, but
fair.
That's time.
That is.
Right.
Thanks.